You don't burn out because you want too much. You burn out because every achievement quietly becomes a new minimum. You tell yourself you'll finally relax after the next milestone, then move the finish line again before the feeling even lands. And if you don't figure out why, ambition will build you a life you're too exhausted to live inside. That used to be my whole life. I thought ambition meant I was disciplined, focused, different. I was the guy making plans while everyone else was asleep, convincing myself that rest was for people with lower standards, which sounds inspiring until you realize I was basically turning my nervous system into an unpaid intern. Every win felt exciting for about 6 minutes. Then my brain would immediately ask, "Cool, what's next?" I'd finish a project, and instead of feeling proud, I'd feel behind. I'd hit goals I once obsessed over, and somehow still feel like I was standing outside my own life, watching someone else almost become enough. And the weird part, from the outside, it looked good. People called me driven, motivated, ambitious. What they didn't see was how impossible it became to enjoy anything without earning it first. A quiet day felt irresponsible. Rest felt suspicious. Even hanging out with people came with this low-level guilt, like I should be doing something useful instead. I kept treating life like a waiting room for some future version of me that would finally feel settled, more successful, more confident, more complete. But that version never arrived, because every time I got closer, the target moved again. Funny how the dream life always stays exactly one achievement away. Convenient little scam, really. And I think the shift started when I realized my ambition wasn't actually pushing me forward. A lot of the time, it was chasing me from behind. That's the part nobody tells you. Ambition isn't just a desire for success. It's often a reaction to discomfort, a response to the gap between who you are and who you think you need to become. People talk about ambition like it's automatically noble, like more drive always means more purpose. But there's a huge difference between being pulled by something meaningful and being hunted by the fear of falling behind. The phrase that changed everything for me was this: ambition is the shadow cast by your unlived life. And once you see that, a lot of your behavior suddenly makes sense. Because the real question isn't how ambitious are you? It's who taught you that your worth lives somewhere in the future. Experts refer to this as the arrival fallacy, the illusion that fulfillment waits at the finish line. It's the belief that finally reaching a goal will create lasting happiness. But the brain doesn't really work that way. Dopamine, the chemical people associate with motivation and reward, responds more strongly to anticipation than achievement. The chase lights the system up more than the catch, which explains why ambitious people often feel strangely empty after reaching something they spent years wanting. The brain was built to pursue, not arrive. There's also something called identity fusion. That's when your goals stop being things you do and become who you are. You're not someone building a business anymore. You are the business. You're not someone trying to succeed creatively. You are your output. So when something fails, it doesn't feel like disappointment. It feels like a threat to your identity. Researchers like Tal Ben-Shahar have written extensively about this pattern. People assume happiness lives at the destination, then feel confused when success doesn't remove the anxiety underneath it, because the anxiety was never caused by the lack of achievement alone. And social media makes this infinitely worse. Your brain now compares your unfinished life to thousands of polished highlight reels every single day. The result is this constant ambient feeling that everyone else is moving faster than you. So if you're exhausted by your own ambition, that doesn't mean you're lazy or broken. It probably means your nervous system has been living in survival mode disguised as productivity. And no, the answer isn't to suddenly become less ambitious. That usually lasts about 2 days before you start watching productivity videos while eating cereal at midnight. The real shift is learning the difference between fear-based ambition and love-based ambition. Fear-based ambition says, if I achieve enough, maybe I'll finally feel worthy. Love-based ambition says, I care deeply about this, and I want to build it well. From the outside, they can look identical. Inside your body, they feel completely different. One burns you alive, the other sustains you. The first shift is this: stop worshiping the horizon. Ambitious people think life starts after the next milestone, but the horizon always moves. If your entire emotional life depends on arriving, you'll spend decades emotionally homeless. Psychologist Daniel Gilbert's work on effective forecasting shows humans are terrible at predicting what will make them happy long term. We overestimate how much achievements will change us emotionally. So build a direction instead of a finish line. Ask yourself today, not 5 years from now, what would make this process meaningful even before I succeed? The second shift is learning strategic good enough. Most ambitious people treat every task like it needs to justify their existence. That's exhausting. Not everything deserves masterpiece-level energy. Jeff Bezos once talked about thinking from the perspective of his 80-year-old self. That long view matters, because when people look back on life, they rarely regret not optimizing harder. They regret neglecting relationships, health, and time. So choose carefully what gets your excellence. Some things need brilliance. Some things just need completion. And the third shift is identity diversification. If your entire self-worth sits on one axis, one failure can psychologically wipe you out. The healthiest ambitious people build lives bigger than their work. They have friendships untouched by status, hobbies with no audience, relationships where achievement isn't the entry fee for love. Roger Federer lasted decades at the top, partly because tennis wasn't allowed to consume every corner of his identity. That matters more than people realize. Because ambition itself isn't the enemy. Unchecked ambition is. A healthy, ambitious life still works hard, still cares deeply, still builds meaningful things, but it also knows when enough is enough for today. It understands that rest is infrastructure, not weakness, that relationships are not rewards you unlock after success. And slowly, almost quietly, life stops feeling like a performance review you can never pass. You still move forward, you just stop treating your existence like something that has to be earned first. If you're ready to stop surviving on motivation and start building real inner strength, subscribe and join the journey. New videos every week.